Hi, thank you for joining me in this new format of how I'm presenting videos. You're here with me, and I'm about to tell you some very intimate, beautiful, fun, detailed stories of how I learned to grow my trust muscles to follow my voice of guidance from within. What happened as I took action on the choices I made and what the results were. My purpose in wanting to share this with you is I feel really moved to bring you more deeply inside my heart and my life experience so you could see the intimate side of how I am learning and growing and how what I have been through to bring me to this moment of having taught all over the world how to train people and listening to their guidance. So right now I'd like to tell you the story of my spiritual awakening, which happened in 1987. At that time, I was married to an architect who was also a chef. I lived on Long Island, and my best friend, whose name is April, was interested in things considered metaphysical or mystical. Things that made no sense to me and didn't mean anything at the time. So she was going to, like spiritual readers and learning about past lives. And, I was busy trying to make a marriage work that was going downhill fast. So at that time, I would find myself so depressed and anxious. I would walk around at night sobbing, looking up at the sky, begging to be taken home. I was in the dark night of the soul that just wouldn't quit. And I was married to this person that wasn't right for me. And I knew it. And I was lost. I was really lost and in so much pain. And that's the predicament I was in. And I didn't know how to get out of it. And so April came along and said, hey, the harmonic convergence is coming up. It was started by Jose Arguelles. And why don't you come? And I didn't understand what the harmonic convergence was. So I went to bed thinking about it. You had to get up really early and stuff. And I kind of felt like, she was my best friend and I trusted her and she thought there'd be something good in that for us. So I decided to go. At the Harmonic Convergence, at this time in my life, I was the executive director of the Southampton Chamber of Commerce, so I held a strong position in town and publicly, and for the media, it was the place where movie stars lived and filmed, so I was fairly well known because of my job position. And I was very practical. I was a very practical-minded person. And so pre-dawn light, we go down to this beach in Sagaponack. This is August 17th, 1987. And I don't know how to meditate. Everyone else there does, so I feel foolish. And at the end of the meditation, everyone jumped up and was shouting, love and light on planet Earth, and jumping into the ocean right there. And I remember as I was jumping in the ocean up to my knees, I was suddenly awake to the fact that I was hearing celestial music in my head, that when I looked at the sky, what I saw were golden white, humongous archangels. I didn't even have the word archangels in my vocabulary. And when I looked back at the beach, everyone had light fields around them, which I now know are auras. At the time, I had no frame of reference for any of this. And I promise you, I didn't eat anything or drink anything funny. Just came out of the experience of everyone sitting in pre-dawn meditation, welcoming peace on earth. And there it was. And so I wasn't scared because I had the most phenomenal, extraordinary, unconditional love flooding me at the same time. And I was sort of in suspended awe because I didn't know what was happening to me, and I didn't understand how to even, do I talk to anybody? And April came running up, and apparently she was having the same experience. Did you see the angels in the sky? Are you hearing music in your head? Do you see the light around the people? And I was like, oh my gosh, yes. And so, very long story short, after having that experience, we were very different, and we were very different for 3 days in a row. We were in this altered state having these experiences. When I went back to my house from that experience, I got to the driveway and felt, I don't belong here. And when I saw the man I was married to, I felt, I don't know why I'm with him. And suddenly this life I was living didn't fit me. The next day I went back to work at the Chamber of Commerce and I could not stand being in the building. And it was a lovely place. Couldn't physically tolerate being in the building, so I left. And I didn't know where to go or what to do. So I went back to the beach where this had happened and saw a small circle of people meditating and figured they must be the people I need to talk with. This whole time, I'm not scared. I am quite unnerved, though, because suddenly my life isn't fitting me. I joined the people meditating. They came out of meditation and invited April and I to go to an event that evening. I went home, and not having been a very religious or spiritual or metaphysical person, I just prayed in my own way. And I said, God, Spirit, Universal Mind, whoever's listening, help me make proper choices here. Help me to fulfill why ever I was given this awakening. Help me to use it for service. I don't even understand what's happening. Just help me and direct me. And after that prayer, I sat quietly and I actually received some, what I will call guidance or wisdom, insight, inspiration, and was guided to go to the event that night and see what happens. So I made my choice. I chose to follow my guidance, and I went to the event that night and I met the couple who became my spiritual mentors and teachers, who trained me completely in how to use all these awakened faculties to serve the human race and to be on the purpose of love and motion on the planet Earth, which is all that ever really mattered to me since I was a little girl. So the action I took was to trust that nothing fit me anymore because that part of my life was just done. Somehow this cosmic event happened and I was born new, and I moved to New England and I studied with Tom and Karen Good for 8 years, and I got my trust muscles really strong. The result of my moving from being lost to being in a predicament that I needed to get out of and didn't know how, to being guided in prayer to ask, how do I work with what's happened to me? Now, what happened to me could have been negative or positive. It's that a significant event happened. And usually events in our lives are invitations to look into why they're happening and see what our next step is. Is it a calling? So in my instance, I followed my guidance. I made the choice to take action. And as a result, I've been a spiritual mentor, guide, and intuition coach since pretty much 1988, 1989, as well as an inspirational speaker. All of this happened at a time when I was suicidal, depressed, lost, sobbed myself to sleep every night, and just had no idea why I was in so much emotional pain all the time. I did not know that I was a sensitive and empathic, and that I was feeling not only the disappointment of my own life, I was feeling the collective pain of people on this world who felt the same. So I learned a lot, and I want to encourage you to consider my story. It all happened just like that, unscripted, unexpected, changed my life. And pull out pieces that might work for you. What would be your state right now? What predicament might you be in? What can you contemplate or pray on to get some insight and guidance for? And if you were to get guidance, what would you choose to follow in your guidance? What actions would you take? And what results might you receive? I want to invite you to play with me in this for the next week and take that ride and see what happens. Thanks for sharing story time with me. This will be the format for the rest of October, and I've got lots of great stories to share with you. As always, and as THEA always said, thank you for your brilliance, and I'll see you next time.